good job.
Sorry.
Got it. You're good. I think we're doing a good job at keeping things really simple and just trying to move you guys to the next step, wherever that is. So I don't know if that's y'all's experience. I hope and pray that it is. But our heart and our want for y'all is to not overcomplicate things. It's just to make it simple and lead you to the next step so that we're consistently making forward progress. There's just no way to teach you everything. There's no way for you to learn everything overnight. It's a slow and steady progression. To become a professional at anything, it just doesn't happen overnight. And so the main thing is keeping things really simple. What we do, what we sell, what we help people with is a very simple product, right? But people don't buy products. People buy solutions to a problem. And so if there is no appointments, if there is no problems to be solved, there's nothing to be sold, right? So I want you guys to continue to focus on what am I doing this week? Or what am I doing in my business? What am I doing in my leads? What am I doing in my appointments to continue to further booking appointments? But also, how am I enhancing my skill? Is it just appointment by appointment? Or am I intentionally thinking about what could I have said differently there to not just sell, but to solve problems, right? To actually create a problem, help somebody identify that they may have an issue, and then help them solve that by using our products. It's just most of the time, people don't even really need to know the product, right? And you guys will find that if you haven't already, sitting in the homes that you've sat in thus far, these people don't want to listen to the different types of life insurance that you have access to, right? They just want to be covered. Like, they just want to know that no matter what, they just want to know that they're covered, and that and that you're somebody who's trustworthy and who's going to help them through it, right? So I kind of want to hear about a few of y'all's experiences this week. If you don't mind, I won't call anybody out if you don't want to share, but if you do want to share a little bit, maybe something that you learned, or maybe in an appointment this week, or maybe something that you think you could have done a little bit better, or the floor is y'all's. If you guys want to speak up.
Oh, can't hear you, Rita. Rita, are you talking?
Oh,
We
Rita,
can't hear
if
you.
you're talking to us, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Early in the morning.
Didn't know if you were
Okay.
scolding somebody or.
Well, I had my very first appointment, and I sold a Mutual of Omaha $5,000 policy. It was an experience. It was a real good experience because the guy was just so lonely, and he just wanted to talk and talk and talk. And I tried somehow to get my presentation in there, and as whenever he started talking, then he started to get teary-eyed, and it was just something that I didn't want to stop. So my presentation was 4 hours long. I mean, I just had a really, and then I had some issues with the app itself. I called Jonathan because it just wouldn't take the application. But what I wanted to say is, some of these people that are elderly, they have a need to talk to people. And if you get them at the wrong moment, it's gonna be that they just want to unload, and they want to speak, and they don't have that many people in their lives, so they don't mind talking to you. But keep that in mind when you're booking something with older people, to allow a little extra time. For me, it was a learning experience. I figured I was going to be in and out, and I booked to 2:00 after that, and I was still there, and I was looking at my clock, my watch, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this poor guy, you know.
It is a learned skill, Rita. Yes, you are right, but you can move the conversation forward. People do feel lonely, and especially the senior market, and they do want to talk. But it's a learned skill on how to transition from letting them tell you what they need to tell you so that you can get enough information to solve the problem so that they don't give you objections, right? But also moving the conversation forward so that you don't get stuck there for 4 hours. It's a learned skill. You'll learn it. You'll learn it, I promise. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, you don't really want every appointment to go 4 hours, but I can tell you, girl, I had been there, and I'm like, I ain't leaving. You know, it became after hour 3, it's just kind of like you're like, okay, we're gonna keep coming back to it. It's like you had a 4-hour practice session with one close at the end.
And
That's good stuff, though.
And because I have so many elderly clients, a lot of my clients not only texted me yesterday for Mother's Day, but they called me, not for work reasons, but just wanted to wish me a happy Mother's Day. And so that kind of thing will happen too if you have older clientele, Rita. It's a good thing.
Yeah, you built a great, what that tells me is that you built a great connection with him. He trusted you. And then also another thing to consider is serve the one you're with always, right? If you're closing a deal, serve the one you're with. The person that you booked in that next appointment, we book a lot of appointments in one day. We tell you not to leave the house without having 3 appointments, right? Because that puts odds in your favor. But just know that we don't know what that next appointment's going to be, right? And so we just want to serve the person that we're with. Now, if we're not going to be making a sale, we need to identify that and get out of there as quickly as we can, right? But that's also a learned skill. You'll notice the more homes you sit in, which people are serious and which people are just needing an ear, right? But this man, it sounded like because you were there anyway and you were going to be helping him out, he just wanted to talk with you. And then the other thing too is I'm proud of you for getting through the e-app trouble, because technology can add that extra layer of complication, but you got through it gracefully, and now your next one will not be as challenging, hopefully.
I hope so. But while we're talking about that, Mutual of Omaha sent me a letter with a registration number and all of that. So I tried logging on last night, and I was on their website, and it said that they had, I was trying to look at the status of the app and I couldn't look it up. It just wasn't there. But it said also on there when I got my registration number that I have to take a class. So I went onto their website and I looked at Medicaid, Medicare, but I don't know which one of the classes that I'm actually supposed to take.
Yeah, if you'll send Jonathan that letter, that way we can.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. But it was sent out that day in particular that I had my appointment. So that could have been also one of the reasons why my e-app was goofed.
The only thing, just so everybody knows, the only thing that Mutual of Omaha is going to require as really any of the carriers are going to require for life insurance business is anti-money laundering training. The AML course, which you guys should have already completed through WebCE, which is what Melissa Bruno recommends. So you guys should have already completed the AML training. Mutual Omaha might just not have it, so you may just need to email it to them, to their contract.
Okay.
If you don't know for sure, call Mutual of Omaha, and you can get to their phone number by going into the ARC and then going to Mutual of Omaha, finding the phone number, and calling the contracting department to see what it is that they need to push your policy.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. I just, it's very interesting though. They have a lot of different areas where you can just go on and learn.
All the
So-
carriers do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a general email that they send, Rita. You don't need to do any of the Medicare training. So
Oh,
you have
okay.
everything. You've already done all the requirements. They just need to process the app for you.
Okay.
So because they fixed your issue with the bank validation, correct?
They said that they would check on it. That's all they said. So that's why I tried logging on and I didn't see anything. So I guess I could call on it. I wrote the number down.
Yeah, we can look at it today, later on.
Yeah.
So that's good. Does anybody else want to tell us about their first apps this week, or something that they learned or experience they had?
Something that I just wanted to add to what Rita was saying. I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone. This is Serena. Is I do a lot of Medicare. I did that prior to coming over to the Fitz group. And I did sit with a lot of elderly people who do want to talk a lot, but because I was there to listen, because they felt comfortable with me, along comes the referrals that you get from them. So I've had many of them call me and say, hey, you were so great with me and I trust you. My daughter has a need, or my brother has a need. So you'll be the first person that they think of because you've already established that comfort with them, that confidence, that trust that they have in you. So that's one thing I wanted to add to what Rita was saying. Another thing about some of the training that you were talking about, I have been going on to the NAA University, and I have found that to be, so I wake up and I'm so excited because I want to watch the next video. I want to what else are they going to teach me, So if you have time to go on to the NAA University, that is, I think, is a wonderful resource available to us.
It is a good resource, Serena. Thank you for saying that. And
So,
there's no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then also I learned this weekend that, I've never had a reason to approach my siblings about what I do because I've always did health and I've always done Medicare. So they're not 65 or older and they all have insurance through work. So getting together with them over the weekend, I'm like, hey, I got to talk to you guys about what I do. And they're like, we know what you do. You sell health and you sell Medicare. And I'm like, no, but that's not all. And so because of that, my brother wants me to give him a quote for some retirement. He wants to put a plan together for one of his goddaughters. He did have me do one for his grandson. And my sister called me yesterday. She has an 11-year-old, and she's like, I have to start thinking about me and Xavier. And she's like, so absolutely, give me a quote. So, speaking to family is really important. And just, everybody that you're around, Fitz said that in one of the videos or training where he's like, oh, I think he said Michelle spoke to everybody that was within 3 feet of her. I think that's what he said. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try that. So the 3 feet, you know what? COVID said 6 feet. I'm going to do 3 feet for life insurance.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the life insurance business. That doesn't, nobody, there's not one person out there that doesn't have some sort of need eventually for life insurance, right?
Exactly.
So our market is everybody. And so, yeah, that 3 foot rule is, and then honestly, the more you tell people what you do, it's not that we're pushing, it's just you're letting them know that, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And then we're helping them out, because the worst feeling that could happen is something happens to one of your family or friends and they didn't know you were a life insurance agent.
Yeah,
right?
I've had a lot of that happen. I see a lot of family members with GoFundMe pages because somebody lost a loved one, in a freak accident or, just something unexpected. So, absolutely.
We hear those stories all the time. It makes this pit in your stomach, you know? Well, I'm proud of all of y'all for what you accomplished this week and everything that you are taking every week. It's just going to continue to compound. And if y'all haven't been in the NAA University yet, if you want to there's a lot of training in there, like an overwhelming amount of training. And so if you wanted to just get somewhere to start, there is a page called the Getting Started Quickly page. It's similar to the boot camp that you guys went through, but it's not all the different product knowledge. But I'm glad you brought it up, because as you start to learn more products and as you start to learn how else you can help people, those tools are crucial, because there's the only way that you're going to learn how a product works is to find somebody that product serves, right? And then once you find that person that this product helps solve a problem for that family, then all you do is you go in and you do some product training so you can learn a little bit about it. I've always recommended that the brochures are great product training, and then to get on to the product calls, and the carriers even do product webinars. And so be on the lookout for that stuff as you start to expand your toolbox, as you start to expand the different products that you have taught yourself on and how you can serve people with. It just expands the people that you can serve. So, but it just starts with finding the person that product can match to, and then you go and learn it.
Yeah, I registered for a few of the training videos or webinars that some of the carriers offer. And of course, all of them are during the day at 10 a.m. when I'm at work, you know, so seriously, I'm working on firing my boss. But there are a lot of people that respond and say, hey, are there any that are in the evenings or weekends? And then once you register, they always usually send you either a link to the recorded, you know, so I've been taking advantage of that too.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Anybody else want to speak up of the week?
Hey, this is Sherry. Good morning. I just wanted to say that going into meetings, one thing that I have learned is, or I guess I knew this. I mean, I've been going to IT meetings for years, but you know, there's always that little bit of fear that you're going to say something that they don't like or whatever. But just remember, you're the leader, and also in the follow-up, remember that you're the leader there too. So if they don't have a piece of information, you have to go back for it. Don't be shy. Just keep going back for it, even if it's that same day and the next day and the next day, because they sometimes just need those reminders to be able to get what they need to get, because you're like their Post-it note that's sitting on their steering wheel in their car or something. I'm not sure.
That's a good analogy.
Keep going back.
Yeah. People don't know what you need unless you tell them, right? I call that the professional persistence. It's not this person already identified. We already identified that they know they need the coverage, and we already identified what coverage solves their problem. We're just, like Sherry said, sometimes people, if you don't have all the information, just persistently go back. What I like to think about, and this is truly what I think about because this helps me be in the right mindset as I'm going into following up with a customer that I need to get extra information on, is I think about, okay, what did I talk to, or what conversations did I have with this person when we were in the home, when we were identifying this issue that they had, and we were going ahead and moving forward with the application. What kind of conversations did we have? And I make it personal, because then I think about, well, what if this person didn't make it home tomorrow and I was too scared and I was too nervous, or I was in my head, or I didn't want to reach out to them and just say, hey, I'm just following up about we need to go ahead and finish that application. All we're missing is this one piece of information. Can you talk in 5 minutes? You know, if I was too nervous to send that message, or if I was too nervous to send that phone call or to make that phone call, and that family, that person didn't make it home the next day, like I think about that. It gets me like, all right, Megan, you know, it takes away that, it puts me in the right mindset to reach out to them from a place of, I'm just here to help, and I'm trying to move this forward. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so we just need to go ahead and submit the application, you know.
Absolutely, Megan. And I just wanted to add that you get more apologies from your insured than you do, than you get, like, they're not taking your call. They're taking your call. I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
Right. People just get busy.
So very true, Megan.
Yeah.
And even sometimes when you just insert the words, I know when we met on XYZ date, you told me how important this was to your family. I just regurgitate that to them. And then I go on, all I need is this. Can you call me? Sometimes I'll just say, can you call me today? Or can you call me in 15 minutes? It's just a simple text.
Mm-hmm.
But getting that reason out there, what Megan was talking about, I know when we met, this was really important to you to take care of to protect your family, and then go back into what you needed. It reminds them of that. I think that's what Megan was trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you do once you have an application submitted, right? Now it's time for the pending process, and then approval, and then follow up. So real quick, I just want to go through that real fast so you guys know how to handle what do you do when somebody's been approved. I've always made it a point, and I learned this really from just being around the team and showing up to probably sales calls and to conferences and just listening to how other agents treated their customers and treated their business. But as soon as somebody gets approved, or as soon as you get an email about a requirement that is needed on an application that is still pending, first off, please call one of us if it's a requirement that you do not know how to handle. Hi, Sherry. See you later. If you guys don't know how to handle the requirement, please just call one of us so that we can help advise you on how to handle that requirement. But as soon as somebody's been approved, I've tried to make this a point to call my clients on the day that they get approved. Why? Because that's what I told them I was going to do when I was sitting in the home with them. So it's all about setting the expectation and then following through with that, what you said you were going to do, right? So as soon as they've been approved, just give your clients courtesy call, and please make sure you're saving your clients in your phone if you haven't already. You should be sending your contact to your clients so that they can save you in their phone, but also you should be saving them in your phone. And just give them a call and say, hey, Mary, this is Megan, just giving you a follow-up call. I've got great news for you. Your policy was just approved. Yay, so you did a happy dance. Here's what to expect. I'll reiterate what date they set the payments up for, so they know when they're going to be expecting that payment to draft out of their account. So I'll say, hey, Mary, great news. Your policy's been approved. Here's what you can expect. It's going to take about 5 to 10 business days for that policy to be mailed out to you. Okay. And then we did, remember we set the payment dates up for the 20th, or maybe we set them up for the 10th, which is tomorrow. Remember we set that up for the 10th. So you will see that payment process either tomorrow or by Wednesday at the latest. If you don't see it processed, please give me a shout. But otherwise, you're all set to go. Your policy's been approved and put in place. And just give me a call once you get that policy in the mail. That way I know you've received it and we can go through it together if needed. But otherwise, you're all set, Miss Mary, and I'll follow up with you about once a year just to check in. But do you have any other questions for me? All the time they say no if you set it up right from the beginning. And that's just one of those 7 touches that creates that stickability of a client. um, it decreases the chances of people canceling on you, and it increases your credibility with them. And so now they're going to be your client and not the company's client. And that's an important distinction that we have to continuously strive for. Does this client call me, or do they call the company? We want them to call you. We want them to be your client. And the only way to get that kind of trust and that stickability is the follow up. 7 touches.
And at that point, after you thank them and you're telling them that you'll be in touch, I always reiterate when I'm with somebody, not just leaving the house, but after telling them that they've been approved and you handle all that stuff, just reiterate, hey, if you know anybody else who could use, the help or however you want to word it, but always remind them that, hey, you may know somebody else who could benefit from the same thing. So ask for that referral.
Absolutely.
One of the things I was going to say that I throw in at the end or after a follow-up call, we're usually talking with seniors or parents is, I say, hey, before I let you go, real quick, is there anybody, any of your family members, kids, siblings, that if something happened to them tomorrow, you'd be one of the people on the hook to have to try to come up with their final expenses, or just, on the hook? And, every family has one. You would be surprised if you ask that question. It's almost always they're going to be like, yeah, you should call my brother, or, you know what? Yeah, you need to call my son, And I'd say, well, you know what? Can we call him real quick? And so you can introduce them to me, or at least leave them a message, text them, and then I'll give them a call. Little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Very true. All right, guys.
Yep.
I will send you guys an email for transmittals today. Please send in your transmittals before the end of day. I will send you guys an email for that. And then sales meeting is tomorrow morning. If you wrote your first app this last week, please be prepared to speak up on the sales meeting tomorrow, probably about 10:30. But sales meeting starts at 10. You will see that information be posted on the 411 channel in Slack tomorrow morning. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you guys later. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
There we go.
Hola.
Do we have a staff meeting this week, Mike?